The Prometheus emerged from the wormhole at the edge of the Sol system, its hull bearing the scars of its recent encounter. On the bridge, Captain Marcus Carter sat rigidly in his command chair, his face a mask of determination tinged with unease. "Status report," he called out, his voice tight. Commander Esteban Rodriguez responded promptly, "All systems functioning within acceptable parameters, Captain. We've successfully traversed the wormhole and are on course for Lunar Orbital Station." Carter nodded, his eyes fixed on the main view screen displaying the distant blue marble of Earth. "Very well. Communications, send our arrival report to command. And inform them we have a full debrief pending. Priority Alpha." As the crew went about their duties, an undercurrent of tension ran through the ship. Their encounter with the Myzoan vessel had been a resounding success from a tactical standpoint, but the ethical implications of their actions weighed heavily on many minds. Lieutenant Adam Odom spoke up from his sensor station. "Captain, I'm detecting elevated activity around Earth and lunar orbit. It seems our arrival has been noticed." "Understood," Carter replied. "Maintain course and speed." As the Prometheus made its final approach to the lunar orbital station, Carter couldn't shake the feeling that the consequences of their actions were only beginning to unfold. In the Oval Office, President Albert Chambers paced back and forth, his face flushed with anger. Across from him, General Jonathan Madison stood at attention, his expression carefully neutral. "Privateering?" Chambers spat the word out. "You authorized a mission of piracy against an alien vessel? Your balls might be too big for your own good." Madison stiffened before responding. "Mr. President, with all due respect, you told me to make progress. And we made progress. We have stealth technology, that is the entirety of what we have going for us. As for the Myzoans, they are trafficking humans with our enemies. There can be no diplomacy in the face of that." Chambers stopped pacing, fixing Madison with a steely glare. "And what happens when the Myzoans discover one of their ships is missing? What if they trace it back to us? We're trying to build alliances, not start interstellar wars. Sir, the Myzoans are courting an alliance with the Russians who, if reports are remotely correct, are trading people for technology. The Defiant took actions to destroy the ship. There should be little to no evidence that would tie that vessel to us. The think tank we established came up with privateering as our best option to level the playing field," Madison explained. "I have half a mind to end your career over this. I do not ever want to play poker with you, General. From now on I want informed before actions this drastic, no matter how you interpret my orders." As Madison saluted and left the office, Chambers sank into his chair, the weight of leadership heavy on his shoulders. The cosmic chess game they were engaged in was becoming increasingly complex, and he couldn't shake the feeling that they were one misstep away from catastrophe. Deep beneath the Ural Mountains, alarms blared through the secret facility. General Viktor Volkov raced down the corridor, his face a mask of concern. He burst into the main laboratory to find chaos. Dr. Andrei Kuznetsov was shouting orders to his team as they frantically worked to deal with the power core the Myzoan had provided. "What happened?" Volkov demanded. Kuznetsov turned, his face pale. "The Myzoan power core. We thought we had it under control, but it's become unstable. The energy output is exponentially increasing, and our containment fields are failing." Volkov's eyes widened as he grasped the implications. "Can you shut it down?" "We're trying," Kuznetsov replied, his voice strained. "But if we can't, the resulting explosion could level half the mountain." As the scientists worked desperately to avert disaster, Volkov couldn't help but wonder if the Myzoans had given them just enough technology to put them all in danger. Light years away, aboard the Naxith trading station, Captain Emily Shaw of the Audacity found herself at an impasse. The negotiations had stalled, with the Naxith representatives growing increasingly wary of Earth's rapid advancements. "Your species progresses at an alarming rate," Trade Overseer Noxkull clicked. "How can we be certain of your intentions? Of your stability?" Shaw was about to respond when a familiar voice interrupted. "Perhaps I can offer some perspective on that matter." All heads turned to see Ambassador Harlock of the Mulnari gliding into the chamber, his skin rippling with what Shaw had come to recognize as amusement. "Ambassador," Shaw greeted him, surprise evident in her voice. "I wasn't aware you were in this sector." Harlock's skin shimmered. "The Mulnari have interests throughout the galaxy, Captain. And we've been keeping a close eye on humanity's progress." Turning to the Naxith representatives, Harlock continued, "My friends, I can assure you that while humans are indeed advancing rapidly, they are also a species of great potential. Their adaptability and innovation could bring great benefits to the galactic community." As Harlock spoke, weaving a tapestry of half-truths and carefully crafted assurances, Shaw couldn't help but feel a mix of gratitude and suspicion. The Molnari's timely intervention was welcome, but what was their true agenda? Back on Earth, in the depths of Area 51, Dr. Elena Reyes stood before a bank of monitors, each displaying different aspects of their latest breakthrough in energy weapon technology. The project had been progressing faster than anyone had anticipated, yielding results that bordered on the miraculous. "Dr. Chen," she called out to her assistant, "can you double-check these power output readings? They seem almost too good to be true." Dr. James Chen hurried over, his brow furrowed as he examined the data. "You're right, it's unprecedented. But all our simulations confirm it. We've somehow managed to increase efficiency by 200% while reducing power consumption." As they marveled at their success, neither of them noticed the small, spider-like robot nestled in the corner of the lab, its optical sensors focused intently on their work. It was Dr. Reyes who first spotted the anomaly. A flicker of movement caught her eye, and she turned just in time to see the robot skitter across a workbench, its manipulator arms extended towards a piece of experimental equipment. "What the hell?" she exclaimed, reaching for the nearest object, a fire extinguisher, and bringing it down on the robot with all her might. The lab erupted into chaos as the robot, smashed but twitching as if trying to attempt to escape. Security alarms blared as Dr. Chen managed to dump out a trash can and put it over the severely damaged device. As they listened to the scratching against the inside of the trash can, a chilling realization dawned on them. Their breakthroughs hadn't been miracles, they had been guided, manipulated by an unseen hand. "Lock down the lab," Reyes ordered, her voice shaking. "And get me a secure line to the General Madison. We've been compromised." On Mars, Dr. Yuki Tanaka's day of routine mining operations took an unexpected turn. As she reviewed the latest geological survey data, an anomaly caught her eye. "Dr. Robertson," she called out, excitement creeping into her voice, "take a look at this. The readings from Sector 7G. A lot of oxidation from a severe meteor shower?" Dr. Carl Robertson hurried over, his eyes widening as he scanned the data. "This can't be right. It would have to be a massive meteor shower. It could be weight, high levels of processed metals. It could be in crash site. Would make sense if they crashed on Earth, they crashed on other planets in the system also. We need to focus some drones on Sector 7G. We will have to go slower in case it is a crash site." Tanaka nodded, her mind racing with the implications. "I will start dedicating resources to that immediately. This could change everything. Switch your priorities to this." Dr. Robertson nodded and began setting to work. As they scrambled to organize an expedition to the anomalous site, neither of them could shake the feeling that they were on the verge of a discovery that could reshape their understanding of Mars history, and potentially, the history of the entire solar system. Aboard the Lunar Orbital Station, Admiral Victoria Hayes stood in the observation deck, watching as the Prometheus docked. Her face was a mask of concern as she considered the report she had just received from Earth. The door slid open behind her, and Captain Marcus Carter entered, snapping to attention. "Admiral, reporting as ordered." Hayes turned, fixing Carter with a stern gaze. "At ease, Captain. I've just received word from Earth. Your mission has caused quite a stir in the higher echelons." Carter nodded, his expression carefully neutral. "I understand, Admiral. We were operating under orders and—"
"Save it," Hayes cut him off. "I'm well aware of the orders you were given. The problem is, those orders should never have been issued in the first place." She handed Carter a tablet. "There was talk of consequences for following those orders. The President has flip-flopped on the matter. Did you leave any evidence that you and your crew interacted with the Myzoan ship?" Carter's jaw tightened, but he nodded. "Understood, Admiral. We gave the wreck a little push toward the closest planet. It should be destroyed beyond recognition and possibly unfindable within weeks. In the meantime, it was devoid of power and would be difficult to find at best." Hayes' expression darkened. "That's now the biggest concern. If the Myzoans trace this back to us, well, let's just say we will have made matters significantly worse." As Carter left to inform his crew, Hayes turned back to the viewport, her mind racing with contingency plans. The cosmic game they were playing was becoming increasingly dangerous, and the stakes were rising with each passing day. In the vast reaches of space, unbeknownst to the humans, a Busner patrol ship picked up the faint traces of the Prometheus's passage through the wormhole. Commander X studied the readings with growing interest. Analysis, he barked to his sensor officer. The energy signature is very faint, Commander, the officer replied. The wormhole was opened and closed as if someone made use of it. Zex's eyes narrowed as he contemplated the implications. What are the chances it is a natural phenomenon? I want every ship in the fleet watching for this sensor reading and increase patrols in this sector. The sensor officer nodded. It has happened, but it is a very rare phenomenon and seems overly convenient given the spy ship that was reported destroyed. I will prepare a dispatch, but the sensor reading is very faint and it is fading. If we had been further away and were not right on top of it, I don't think our sensors would pick it up at all. As the Busner ship altered course to investigate further, the delicate balance of power in the galaxy teetered on the edge of the precipice. Humanity's actions, for now, were hidden, but how long they would remain that way was questionable. Back on Earth, as night fell over Washington, D.C., President Chambers sat alone in the Oval Office, the weight of recent events heavy on his shoulders. The reports from Area 51, the diplomatic tensions with Anaxith, the Prometheus incident, and now the potential breakthrough on Mars, each development brought both opportunity and danger. As he pondered their next move, a secure communication channel chimed. It was a message from Ambassador Harlock of the Molnari, requesting an urgent meeting. Chambers hesitated, his finger hovering over the accept button. The Molnari had been helpful, perhaps too helpful. What was their true agenda? And could Earth afford to turn away their assistance in these perilous times? With a deep breath, Chambers accepted the call. For better or worse, humanity's destiny was now irrevocably intertwined with the complex web of galactic politics. And as the leader of Earth, he had to navigate these treacherous waters with wisdom, courage, and perhaps a bit of the audacity that had propelled humanity to the stars in the first place. The cosmic chess game continued, its moves echoing across light years, shaping the fate of worlds and species. And Earth, once a backwater planet on the fringes of the galaxy, now found itself at the center of a brewing storm that threatened to reshape the very fabric of interstellar society.